Hey, it's Jacqueline, and today we're going to work on a really specific skill, how to do a U-turn and how to do a three-point turn. Once you master this skill, you'll make sure that you can get in and out of any situation you find yourself in. It happens to everyone that you might be going down a road and find yourself in a cul-de-sac or a dead-end street, and then you have to turn around and find your way out. It could also be that you're going down a road and you realize you want to turn around, but there's no way to make a U-turn, and then you have to do a three-point turn. You are never going to make a U-turn or a three-point turn where you're not allowed. You are never going to make a U-turn or a three-point turn across a double yellow line or even a single yellow line, because we remember that yellow means caution, and those lines represent limited visibility, perhaps being at the bottom or top of a hill where oncoming traffic wouldn't be able to see you. You are going to make U-turns where it's safe and you have plenty of room, and you're going to make three-point turns if you can't make a U-turn and you've got to turn around. So the three-point turn is like your last resort. You only make a three-point turn if you really have to. And that is because while you're making the three-point turn, you are blocking traffic on both lanes. And so any traffic that's coming toward you is going to have to stop and wait for you while you make your turn. It can feel kind of awkward to be holding up traffic, so really do try to avoid it and only make a three-point turn on a flat road where you have plenty of visibility and you can make sure that there's at least enough time for you to get started and almost complete your three-point turn before another car comes. So I parked myself intentionally near a street that I know has a U-turn. So this is going to be an easy win for me. I want you to know how you can tell where there might be a U-turn street. If you see the word court on a street name, you can probably guess that it's a cul-de-sac where you can make a U-turn. And if you see the word end written on a street sign name, you can also guess that it's a dead-end street, and you might either have to make a U-turn or a three-point turn to get out of there. So let's get out and do our first U-turn. I'm going to turn left on this street that is called Carroll Court. I can see at the end of the road a nice big space for me to make my U-turn. And as I enter into the road, I keep my speed slow because I know I'm going to make a maneuver that's going to require me to have really good steering control. And the slower I'm going, the more steering control I have. I get as close as possible to the parked cars without touching them. And then I turn the wheel all the way around. I give slight acceleration to come out of the turn and to help my steering wheel come back to center. That was our first U-turn. Now let's go find a couple other spots to make U-turns so that we can see if it works in every situation. Here I do my full stop at the T and my traffic check and my sidewalk check. And even though we're focusing on U-turns, we're going to keep practicing our good driving skills. Full stop at every stop sign, sidewalk check, creeping up for better visibility because cross traffic doesn't stop, and turning when it's safe. I'm observing the caution sign that says 15, going a little slower because it's a curve with limited visibility. And then I'm going to make a left turn onto this next street that is called Plank Court. And the word court gives me a clue that it might be a dead end. And indeed, I see a yellow caution sign, not a through street. And I see a nicely shaped cul-de-sac. But I have a parked car here, so I'm going to go around the car, still focused on using the entire circle if I can. When I make my U-turn big and wide, I make sure that I clear, and then I'm able to just return on my way. So you saw me turn the wheel all the way to the left, hold it for the duration of the curve, and then when I straighten out, I release and let the steering wheel come back to center. Another T intersection with no stop sign, but I know I have to stop before I can safely cross. So I'm going to pull over and park for a minute, and I just want to review our U-turn steps. When we're making a U-turn, we curve to the right, we hug the road, we spin our wheel all the way to the right to let it carry us around, and then we straighten out to exit. Now, I'm on a road that's a pretty safe place for me to make a 3-point turn. I have a cul-de-sac behind me, so I know I'm safe, and I have good visibility straight ahead. So just for the purposes of learning, let's do a 3-point turn. I'm going to re-enter the road. And let's say I decide all of a sudden I forgot my wallet and I live back there. I'm going to put on my right turn signal and head toward the right corner of the road as far as I can without entering anyone's driveway. I want to respect other people's personal space. Then I have to put on my left turn signal because I am going to turn left, cranking the wheel all the way as if I'm making a U-turn, but I don't have the same space to clear. I get as close to the car as I can, put my car in reverse, crank the wheel to the right so I get the tightest turn possible. And when I'm reversing, I have to maintain awareness of all 4 corners of my car. So I'm using my mirrors and my owl twisty head to spin around. Again, I try not to enter the driveway of the house behind me because I want to respect their personal space. And then I enter back on the road in 3 points. I went to the right, I went to the left, I reversed, and I went straight. I'm going to turn right here, and I'm going to try to find another safe space to do a 3-point turn. We can both agree this is not the safe space. We already covered that. We are never going to make a U-turn or a 3-point turn on a hill, because if we're taking up space diagonal across the road and a car's coming downhill, we would be a big hazard in their way. Let's turn back on our friend Carol Court. And let's just pretend I didn't want to use the U-turn space. Instead, I'm going to practice a 3-point turn. I'm going to put on my turn signal, go as far to the right as I can. I'm going to make sure there's no one to the left, turning my wheel as far as I can, getting as close to the car as possible without, of course, touching. And then I turn to the right as far as I can, and I reverse, checking behind me and staying aware of all 4 corners of my car. I reverse as far as I can so I can clear, hopefully, in 1 turn, this blue car. I crank the wheel all the way to the left because I want to get the tightest, sharpest turn possible. And it works. Success. And now I will pull over to the side of the road and let's just talk about 3-point turns. In other countries, 3-point turns are sometimes called Y turns or even a K turn. That might be a language that you're more familiar with. The idea is 1 point to the right, 1 point to the left, and reverse, and head on out 1 point in your direction that you want to go. The letter Y is shaped just like that, so I understand why it's called a Y turn. You go to the right, then you cross over to the left, and then you come back down the Y. I hope those instructions help you to understand better how we can make really smooth U-turns, which I think are quite fun, and really meticulous, perfect three-point turns, making sure we don't bump anything. U-turns and three-point turns are not on your driving test. Phew. But it is a really important part of you becoming a good driver that can go anywhere you want to be and know that you can turn around when you need to. Thanks for learning about turns today. See you next time.